Worry is a natural response to uncertainty, but it is also the greatest thief of joy, clarity, and peace. The more we try to control everything, the more anxious we become. The truth is, there are things in life that are beyond our control, and the more we resist this fact, the more we suffer. But when we choose to surrender, to trust that there is a greater plan at work, we free ourselves from the weight of fear and doubt. Letting go is not about giving up. It's about shifting our focus from what we cannot control to what we can. Our mindset, our actions, and our faith. When we allow God to lead us, we step into a life of purpose, peace, and confidence, knowing that we are exactly where we need to be. Stop worrying and let God lead you. We live in a world that teaches us to take control. We are told that if we want to succeed, we need to plan, strategize, and make things happen. We convince ourselves that if we just work harder, push further, worry long enough, we can solve every problem. But what happens when, despite all our efforts, things don't go as planned? What happens when life takes unexpected turns, when doors close, and when we feel stuck? The truth is, no matter how much we try to control everything, there will always be moments in life that are beyond our control. And the more we resist this reality, the more anxious and overwhelmed we become. Worry is our mind's way of trying to create certainty where there is none. It is an attempt to predict the future, to force solutions, and to hold on to something that is meant to unfold in its own time. But worry does not solve problems. It only creates more stress, more doubt, and more fear. What if, instead of holding on so tightly, we chose to let go? What if, instead of relying solely on our own strength, we allowed God to lead us? Letting go is not about giving up. It is about trusting that there is a greater plan at work. It is about understanding that while we may not have all the answers, we are not alone. When we let go of our need for control, we make room for faith. We begin to see opportunities where we once saw obstacles. We begin to feel peace where we once felt fear. This does not mean we stop taking action. Faith is not passive. It is an active trust in the journey. It means we do our part. We show up. We put in effort. We make wise decisions. But we also understand that the outcome is not entirely in our hands. We surrender our fears, our doubts, and our worries, knowing that God's plan is greater than anything we could ever imagine. Some of the most successful people in history have faced rejection, failure, and uncertainty. But instead of allowing worry to consume them, they trusted the process. They understood that sometimes a closed door is actually protection from something that was not meant for them. They recognized that the delays, the detours, and the disappointments were all part of a bigger picture. When you stop worrying and start trusting, you live with a different kind of confidence. You stop fearing failure because you understand that failure is not the end. It is a redirection. You stop stressing over things that are out of your control because you know that what is meant for you will not pass you by. You start to walk in faith, knowing that no matter what happens, you are exactly where you are supposed to be. The question is, are you willing to let go of the worry? Are you willing to trust that there is a bigger plan for your life? The moment you choose to release control and let God lead, you will find the peace, clarity, and strength you have been searching for all along. Worry is something we all experience. It's natural to feel concerned when faced with uncertainty or challenges. It's human to want to control outcomes, predict what will happen next, and plan for every eventuality. But here's the paradox. The more we try to control everything, the more anxious and stressed we become. Worry often leads to a spiral of negative thoughts, which clouds our judgment and diminishes our ability to see clearly. We become so focused on trying to handle every detail that we miss the bigger picture. One where there is a plan much greater than what we can see or comprehend. When we think we can control every aspect of our lives, we place immense pressure on ourselves. We believe that every decision, every outcome, and every step must be in our hands. But the truth is, there are so many things in life that we cannot control. We cannot control the future. We cannot always control the actions of others, and we certainly cannot control the circumstances that come our way. What we can control, however, is our response. We can control how we react to situations, how we manage our mindset, and how we choose to navigate life's challenges. But beyond that, there is an immense sense of peace that comes from recognizing our limitations and surrendering the outcome to something greater than ourselves. When we allow ourselves to release the burden of constant worry and control, we make room for faith. Faith isn't about passively sitting back and waiting for things to happen. It's not about doing nothing and expecting everything to fall into place. Faith is about taking action with trust. Trust that no matter what happens, the outcome will unfold in the way that is meant to be. It's about doing your part, working hard, being diligent, but trusting that the results are not entirely in your hands. This shift in perspective is liberating by letting go of the need to worry about things outside of our control. We can step into a space where we trust that the universe, or whatever greater force we believe in, has a purpose for us. We start to realize that the moments when things don't go according to our plan are often the very moments when we are being redirected towards something better. Instead of resisting life's challenges, we begin to see them as opportunities for growth. Letting go doesn't mean we give up. It means we acknowledge that we can only do so much, and then we surrender the rest. We no longer waste energy on fears about the unknown. We no longer spend our days worrying about hypothetical situations that may never come to pass. Instead, we focus on what we can control: our mindset, our actions, and our responses to the world around us. The rest we leave to faith. This shift can be transformative. When we stop worrying, we become more present in the moment. We begin to trust ourselves, trust the process, and trust that things will unfold as they are meant to. This doesn't mean everything will always go smoothly or that we won't face difficulties. It means that we accept the uncertainty with an open heart, knowing that everything happens for a reason. We become more resilient, more adaptable, and more able to navigate life's ups and downs with grace. The essence of this trust is freedom. The freedom to know that we are not carrying the weight of the world on our shoulders alone. When we stop worrying, we also stop trying to force things to happen. Instead, we start to align with what is meant to be. We start to move in rhythm with life, trusting that every step we take is leading us in the right direction. We realize that there is a divine plan at work, one that is beyond our understanding, but one that we are an integral part of. Letting go of worry and choosing to trust is one of the most powerful acts of self-care and personal growth we can undertake. It's not about avoiding responsibility or giving up on our goals. It's about accepting that we are not in control of everything and learning to trust in the process. When we do, we free ourselves from the burden of anxiety and open ourselves up to a future filled with possibility, peace, and purpose. This shift from worry to trust is a profound transformation that brings clarity and confidence to all areas of life. Worry often becomes an emotional burden we carry with us, and it can hold us back from reaching our full potential. It's easy to get trapped in the idea that if we just worry a little more, if we just plan a little harder, we can somehow force things to work out the way we want. The truth is, the more we try to control everything around us, the more we find ourselves overwhelmed and anxious. When we stop worrying about outcomes we cannot control, we begin to free up mental space to focus on what really matters. The action we take, the relationships we build, and the purpose we align ourselves with. Consider the countless hours we spend analyzing problems, playing out scenarios in our heads and dwelling on what could go wrong. It's a normal response to the unknown, especially when we care deeply about the results of our efforts. But what if we recognize that worry doesn't change the future? It only distorts our present. It creates an environment where fear dominates and joy is pushed aside. When we choose to stop worrying, we are choosing to step into freedom. Think about your journey with your YouTube channel. You've been pushing forward, consistently producing content and focusing on growth. But like any journey, there are moments of uncertainty, questions about whether your efforts are paying off or whether things will go as planned. Worrying about every video or every subscriber count can easily consume your energy and creativity. But the truth is, the best results come when you release the need for control and trust that your efforts will eventually align with the larger vision. The more you focus on delivering value, connecting with your audience, and enjoying the process, the less space there is for worry to creep in. This is where trusting the process becomes essential. When you let go of constant worry, you create room for belief. Belief in your abilities, belief in the content you're creating, and belief that the right people will find you. The process of growth is never linear. There will be highs and lows, moments of doubt and moments of inspiration, but in all of it, the key is trust. Trust that your work is reaching the right people, that your purpose is unfolding in the way it's meant to, and that every step you take is leading you closer to your vision. When you align with this belief, the weight of worry lessens and you begin to feel lighter, more focused and more driven instead of obsessing over how things will turn out. Focus on what you can do right now. This shift in mindset empowers you to act from a place of calm and clarity. For instance, when creating content for your channel, instead of stressing about how many views each video will get, focus on creating something meaningful. Engage with your audience, keep improving your craft, and embrace the journey. In doing so, you create a cycle of action that feeds your growth, rather than letting worry control it. At the core of all this is the simple truth: faith. Faith that no matter what obstacles come your way, you are not alone. Whether it's in your personal life, in your work, or in your passions, having faith means knowing that things will work out in the best way possible, even if it's not immediately clear how. Just as you trust your audience will appreciate the content you create, trust that there's a higher purpose guiding your journey. Let go of the small worries and lean into the bigger picture of trusting that everything is unfolding in its right time. When you let go of worry, you take the reins of your life back in the most powerful way by choosing how you respond to challenges. You embrace the freedom that comes with releasing the pressure to control every detail, and instead you make room for faith, confidence, and peace. This doesn't mean neglecting responsibilities. It means trusting that your actions will lead you to where you need to go, and you are equipped to handle whatever comes your way. When we allow ourselves to trust that there is a greater plan unfolding, we begin to free ourselves from the exhausting, ghosting cycle of worry. Worry comes from a place of uncertainty. It is the mind's attempt to anticipate every possible negative outcome, hoping that if we can just predict or control what happens next, we can avoid pain or failure. But this never-ending cycle of anticipating the worst only keeps us trapped in fear and anxiety, distorting our perceptions of the present moment and clouding our judgment. The more we try to control what we cannot control, the more we give away our peace of mind. Letting go of worry is not about becoming complacent or passive. It is about choosing to shift our focus from what we cannot change to what we can influence. It's about recognizing that there is a natural flow to life. And when we trust that flow, we begin to see things unfold in ways we may not have expected, but that are exactly what we need. Many of us believe that if we worry enough, we can prevent bad things from happening or influence outcomes. This mindset often leads to a sense of paralysis, where we are either too fearful to take action or so caught up in trying to control the situation that we miss the opportunities that are right in front of us. However, what we fail to realize is that worry is not a tool of control. It's a tool of limitation. By constantly worrying about what could go wrong, we miss the chance to see what is going right. We miss the lessons in the challenges we face, and we miss the opportunities that come with them. When we stop worrying, we open ourselves to new possibilities. We allow ourselves to take action without the fear of failure holding us back. And we free our minds to focus on what truly matters: the present moment, the people around us, and the purpose we are moving toward. This shift in mindset allows us to start trusting the process of life itself. Trust is not about waiting for things to magically fall into place. It is about taking action with faith and confidence that everything is unfolding as it should. Life is full of uncertainties, and no amount of worry will change that fact. However, what worry does is it robs us of the energy we need to take the next step. It keeps us stuck in a state of overthinking and paralysis, which prevents us from making progress. When we trust that things will work out in the way they are meant to, we can move forward with conviction, knowing that every experience, good or bad, will ultimately contribute to our growth. Trusting the process means accepting the uncertainty and letting go of the need to control every detail. It means being willing to face challenges with resilience knowing that they are part of the journey, not the end of it. This concept becomes especially powerful when we think about it in the context of our goals and dreams. In any journey, whether personal or professional, there will be moments when things don't go as planned. There will be obstacles, delays, and unforeseen changes. It's easy to get discouraged during these times, to let worry take over and to feel as though everything is falling apart. But what if we saw these moments as signposts, indications that we are on the right path, even though it may not feel that way in the moment? Every setback, every moment of doubt is an opportunity for growth. It is a chance to trust that there is a reason for the challenges we face. If we are able to trust that every situation, no matter how difficult, is part of a bigger picture, we begin to approach life with a sense of calm, peace, and confidence. When we stop worrying, we give ourselves the space to grow and adapt. We stop resisting the flow of life and start to move with it. This doesn't mean we become passive or complacent. It means we start to take inspired action, guided by trust rather than fear. We choose to take the next step, knowing that we don't have to have all the answers right away. We simply need to move forward with intention, knowing that the right opportunities will appear at the right time. Trusting the process doesn't mean we abandon our goals or stop striving for success. It means we allow ourselves to move through the journey with grace, patience, and faith, trusting that everything we need will come to us at the right time. Ultimately, letting go of worry and trusting in the process brings us back to a place of inner peace. Instead of being overwhelmed by uncertainty, we embrace it. Instead of allowing the fear of what could go wrong to control our actions, we choose to focus on what we can do right now. This shift allows us to live more fully, more intentionally, and with a sense of peace that comes from knowing we are being guided. Letting go of worry and choosing to trust is not always easy, especially in a world that often promotes control and certainty. We are conditioned to believe that if we just work hard enough, plan meticulously, and anticipate every potential outcome, we can guarantee success and avoid failure. However, the truth is that life doesn't work this way. There are too many variables outside our control, and trying to manipulate or predict every situation only leads to frustration, exhaustion, and burnout. The key to finding peace and moving forward in life lies in accepting the unpredictability and trusting that, in time, things will fall into place. When we release the need to control everything, we begin to make space for more creative, productive, and fulfilling thoughts and actions. At first, it may seem counterintuitive to surrender control and let go of worry. We've been taught that worry is a sign of responsibility, that if we worry about something enough, it shows we care and are doing our best to avoid failure. However, constant worry does not equate to better outcomes. Instead, it can become a barrier to creativity and clear thinking. When we are consumed by fear and worry, we are not able to see solutions, opportunities, or the lessons that come with each challenge. Our focus narrows, and we start to obsess over what might go wrong instead of seeking ways to make things right. But when we choose to let go of worry, we open our minds to new perspectives, new opportunities, and fresh ideas. We allow ourselves to approach challenges with a sense of calm and clarity. This shift in mindset is essential for personal growth and for achieving success. Choosing to trust that things will unfold as they are meant to doesn't mean sitting idly by and hoping everything works out. Trust is about taking purposeful action while accepting the uncertainty that comes with life. It's about continuing to work hard, setting goals, and striving for success, but doing so with the understanding that we can't control every outcome. Instead of focusing on the fear of failure or the unknown, we shift our attention to things we can control, our efforts, our attitudes, and our responses. When we trust in the process, we stop obsessing over every setback or delay. Instead, we begin to see those moments as stepping stones, not obstacles. Each difficulty presents an opportunity to learn, adapt, and grow. By shifting our perspective, we gain a sense of empowerment and confidence that allows us to keep moving forward. Even when the path is unclear, one of the most powerful aspects of letting go of worry and embracing trust is that it frees us from the fear of failure. Many people are paralyzed by the possibility of failure, believing that it defines their worth or capabilities. But the truth is, failure is not the end. It's part of the journey. It is through failure that we learn the most valuable lessons, and it is in facing our failures that we develop resilience and strength. When we trust that failure is simply a redirection, we free ourselves from the crippling fear that holds us back from taking risks and pursuing our dreams. Instead of avoiding challenges, we begin to see them as opportunities to grow, knowing that even if things don't go as planned, the experience will be valuable in the long run. Trusting the process also means trusting ourselves. It's about believing that we have the strength, wisdom, and resilience to handle whatever comes our way. When we are constantly consumed by worry, we doubt our ability to navigate challenges. But when we let go of the need for control and allow ourselves to trust, we tap into our inner resources. We begin to see our potential, and we recognize that we are capable of far more than we initially believed. This trust in ourselves creates a positive feedback loop. When we trust the process and trust ourselves, we take more confident action, which leads to greater growth, more opportunities, and ultimately more success. Letting go of worry and choosing to trust is a profound act of self-empowerment. It is an act of faith in the process of life and in our own ability to navigate it. By relinquishing the need to control every aspect of our lives, we open ourselves up to new possibilities, new growth, and a deeper sense of peace. We begin to live with the understanding that everything is unfolding as it should, and we are exactly where we need to be. We may not have all the answers or understand every twist and turn of the journey, but by trusting that everything will work out in the end, we can move forward with greater ease, confidence, and clarity when we choose to let go of worry. We often find ourselves in a much more peaceful and empowered state of mind. Worry is a natural response to the unknown. And it's easy to fall into the trap of thinking that if we just worry enough, we can control outcomes. However, constant worrying is not only unproductive, it also drains our mental and emotional energy. It keeps us stuck in a state of fear, uncertainty, and anxiety. When we give ourselves permission to release the weight of worry, we open ourselves up to a greater sense of freedom and possibility. This is the moment when we stop trying to control every detail of our lives and allow things to unfold naturally, trusting that we are exactly where we need to be. Even if it doesn't feel like it in the moment, it's important to understand that letting go of worry doesn't mean giving up or abandoning our goals. It's not about being passive or accepting defeat. Letting go of worry is about shifting our perspective. It's about realizing that while we can control our actions and responses, we cannot control every external factor or predict every outcome. Once we accept this, we stop wasting energy on things beyond our control and start channeling that energy into the things we can influence. Instead of worrying about things that might or might not happen, we begin to focus on the present moment and the actions we can take today to move us closer to our goals. We allow ourselves to trust the journey, knowing that the steps we take will eventually lead us in the right direction. One of the most profound aspects of letting go of worry is that it allows us to develop a stronger sense of faith. Faith is not just about believing in something larger than ourselves. It's about trusting the process of life and the unfolding of our journey. When we let go of worry, we place our faith in the idea that everything happens for a reason, even when the reasons aren't immediately clear. We begin to see setbacks, delays, and challenges not as signs of failure, but as part of a larger plan. This shift in perspective helps us to embrace uncertainty with grace instead of resisting it. We stop fearing the unknown and begin to trust that everything is happening exactly as it should, leading us toward growth, learning, and ultimately fulfillment. When we stop worrying, we also stop holding ourselves back. Often, worry manifests as self-doubt and fear of failure. We become afraid to take risks, to try new things, or to move forward because we are paralyzed by the potential for failure. But when we let go of worry, we free ourselves from the fear of what might go wrong. We start to take action from a place of confidence rather than fear. We take steps toward our goals with the understanding that failure is not the end, but part of the journey. It is through failure that we grow stronger, learn important lessons, and refine our approach. Letting go of worry helps us step into our potential, giving us the courage to pursue our dreams and embrace new opportunities. Moreover, letting go of worry strengthens our ability to be present in the moment. too often we get caught up in worrying about the future or dwelling on the past. We miss out on the richness of the present moment because our minds are occupied with things that haven't even happened yet. When we release worry, we give ourselves the gift of presence. We are able to fully engage with the people and experiences around us. This presence not only enhances our well-being, but it also improves our relationships and productivity. We become more focused, more engaged, and more connected to the world around us. By being present, we are able to make better decisions and take more thoughtful actions, which ultimately leads to more positive outcomes. Trusting that everything will work out as it is meant to is not an invitation to complacency or laziness. It is an invitation to live with intention and faith. It is about finding peace in the process, not just in the destination. The journey will never be perfect, and there will always be obstacles along the way. But when we stop worrying about the outcome, we are able to embrace each step, knowing that each experience is a building block for something greater. By letting go of worry, we stop chasing after elusive perfection and start embracing the beauty of imperfection. We start living with the understanding that all experiences, good and bad, are contributing to our personal growth. The more we trust the process, the more we step into our own power and resilience ultimately. Letting go of worry and trusting in the journey is one of the most liberating things we can do for ourselves. We stop being slaves to fear and uncertainty and begin to live with a sense of calm purpose and confidence. Instead of being consumed by anxiety about what might go wrong, we trust that everything is unfolding as it should. We shift our focus from trying to control everything to being present, taking purposeful action, and having faith in the bigger picture. By doing so, we open ourselves up to the incredible possibilities that lie ahead. We begin to see that worry is not the solution. It's the obstacle. When we choose to let go of worry, we step into a life full of peace, opportunity, and fulfillment. When we make the conscious decision to stop worrying, we unlock a profound shift in our lives. Worrying is a natural human response to uncertainty, yet it does not serve us in the way we often believe. It creates a false sense of control, convincing us that if we think about something enough or obsess over every detail, we can somehow shape the outcome. The truth, however, is that worrying only amplifies anxiety and prevents us from moving forward. The more we focus on potential negative outcomes, the more our energy is drained, leaving us with little room to see opportunities or solutions. When we stop worrying, we free ourselves from this constant cycle of anxiety and allow our minds the space to focus on what truly matters. This shift not only enhances our mental and emotional well-being, but also improves our ability to make clear decisions and take thoughtful action. Worrying is often a symptom of trying to control things that are beyond our control. Life is inherently uncertain, and despite our best efforts, we can't predict or control every outcome. Whether it's in our personal lives, careers, or future plans, there will always be factors outside our influence. The more we try to control these factors, the more frustrated we become when things don't go as planned. When we let go of the need to control everything, we shift from a mindset of fear and anxiety to one of trust and acceptance. Instead of trying to anticipate every challenge and prepare for every potential setback, we begin to accept that some things are simply beyond our control. This acceptance brings a sense of peace and allows us to focus our energy on the aspects of life that we can influence, such as our actions, our mindset, and our responses to situations. Letting go of worry doesn't mean we abandon responsibility or become passive. Rather, it means that we stop being consumed by the fear of the unknown and embrace a mindset of trusting the process. Life is unpredictable, and there will inevitably be moments of doubt, setbacks, and disappointments. However, when we trust that things are unfolding as they should, we are better able to approach challenges with resilience and clarity. Instead of resisting difficulties, we begin to see them as opportunities for growth. Every setback becomes a learning experience, and every failure becomes a stepping stone toward eventual success. By trusting the process, we stop allowing uncertainty to paralyze us. Instead, we take action with confidence, knowing that whatever happens, we will be able to adapt, learn, and grow when we let go of worry. We also free ourselves from the fear of failure. So often we hesitate to take risks or pursue new opportunities because we are afraid of failing. We fear that failure will define us or that it will set us back permanently. But the truth is, failure is not the end, it is part of the journey. Every successful person has experienced failure at some point. What sets them apart is their ability to use failure as a lesson rather than a defeat. When we stop worrying about failure and embrace it as a natural part of growth, we begin to take more risks and seize opportunities that we would have otherwise passed up. Failure no longer holds us back. Instead, it becomes a tool for learning and improvement. By letting go of the fear of failure, we cultivate the courage to move forward boldly, knowing that each step, whether successful or not, is bringing us closer to our goals. The most significant benefit of letting go of worry is the freedom it provides. Worry often keeps us in a state of tension and anxiety, draining us of the energy needed to live fully and pursue our passions. When we stop worrying, we open up space for peace, clarity, and creativity. Our minds are no longer cluttered with what-ifs and worst-case scenarios, allowing us to be more present in the moment and more engaged in our lives. This freedom allows us to step into our full potential without the weight of fear and doubt holding us back. Instead of being constantly preoccupied with the future or the past, we can focus on the present, on what we can do right now to move forward. This presence of mind not only improves our productivity, but also enhances our relationships, creativity, and overall satisfaction with life in addition to finding peace. Letting go of worry helps us to develop a deeper sense of faith in ourselves, in the process of life, and in the journey we are on. Trusting that things will unfold as they should is an act of faith. It's about believing that even though we cannot always see the bigger picture, there is a greater purpose at work. When we trust in the process, we release the need for immediate results and embrace the idea that the journey itself is as important as the destination. This faith gives us the strength to persevere through difficult times, knowing that there is a higher plan at play. As we grow in our faith, we become more resilient in the face of adversity and more open to the lessons that life offers. We begin to understand that everything, even our struggles, is part of a larger tapestry, and that everything happens for a reason. Finally, letting go of worry helps us cultivate a deeper sense of gratitude. When we stop focusing on what could go wrong and start trusting that everything will work out, we begin to appreciate the present moment for what it is. We learn to value the small wins, the everyday moments, and the growth that comes from overcoming obstacles. Gratitude becomes a natural byproduct of letting go of worry as we begin to see the beauty in life's unpredictability. Instead of dwelling on what we don't have or what we fear, we become more mindful of what is right in front of us. This shift in focus not only enhances our overall well-being, but also creates a sense of contentment, knowing that we are exactly where we need to be. By letting go of worry and embracing trust, we experience a life filled with more peace, purpose, and gratitude.